The holiday season can be the most dangerous time of year for us martial artists. Let's get started. Hey team, I'm Master Schiele, and we're going to help you as a martial artist talk about the dangers that really occur and happen during the holiday season. Now, when I talk about danger, I'm not talking about, being in a fight, being mugged, being robbed, etc. What I'm honestly talking about is you staying on track in your training, because it takes just a little offset in our training to really throw us off. I like to say this as a comparison. If you're driving and you're going from New York to, let's say, California, and you make a slight degree turn, in the beginning it doesn't matter too much because you can do a course correction. But if you keep going that direction, you're not going to end up in California. You're going to end up in a completely different area in the world. So we have to understand that course corrections have to happen ultimately all the time. And when we see ourselves kind of falling off track a little bit, we need to get on quickly and make sure that doesn't happen. So let's give you some tips that I personally use to help you get through the season. The first one is I want you to acknowledge that it only takes that much, just a little tweak to be off course, but the continuation of it is what's going to really throw you off. Now, this works both as a pro and a con. As a pro, it means that if you've been working very, very hard this whole time, and you've been training, you put in all the work in, that little bump off is not going to throw you too much off course because you can still make that correction. But the danger is if we stay on that direction, right? So let's say you miss a day of training, you miss a week of training, etc. It can be dangerous if you don't get right back on track. So you have to acknowledge that. So here's what I do, and I have to look at myself as an individual. I am a creature of habit. I'm a creature of habit. If I like something, I will stick with it, right? So when I look at my training, I make sure that comes first. If my training comes first, I'll never be thrown off course. And, honestly, I'm at a position in my life where if I do miss a day of training, I do feel a little off, but I don't beat myself up over it because I understand that I'm putting all the work in. Most days of the year, I am training. I am doing something, whether it's stretching, conditioning, you name it, I am doing something to stay on track. And that's what I suggest for you. So understand that that can happen, but here's what I want you to do to help offset that. So let's say you have a holiday dinner and you are with your family and you just know during that dinner time, that's typically the time that you're going to class and you're training. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to wake up and I want you to do a little workout in the morning. What's going to happen is it's going to offset the rest of the day for you to make sure that you're staying on track. Anything you do for the rest of the day, you can at least say, hey, you know what? I put my training in and I feel good about that. And again, that's just making sure you're staying on track, staying on course. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy ridiculous, right? It doesn't mean you have to do a 3-hour workout before you have a holiday dinner, right? What it means is you have to do something to acknowledge and keep you on track. We have those little bumps in the road, right? It's not because we don't realize the road where it is. It's just sometimes we get sidetracked a little bit, right? So when we get sidetracked, those bumps in the roads create that, hey, I need to be awake and get me back on that course. So I think by just doing a little training in the morning, it's going to make sure that you're already saying, hey, you know what? I acknowledge that my schedule is going to be a little thrown off, but this will help me stay on track. So when classes are back in session or I'm back on my regular routine, I'm not going to miss a beat. So that's really the first thing that I think would really help you is just make sure you get some training in during that day. Whatever it is, a quick stretching session, a quick form session, a quick shadow boxing session, whatever it is, right? Some slow kicks, whatever it is that really helps you stay on track. That's what I want you to do first thing. Now, this is really something to give yourself an extra pat on the back. If it's during a major holiday and you do it still, congratulations. You made it, right? You did it. And that's what I want you to do. So plan that ahead of time. Don't think about it the day of because you know what? You know how those holidays happen, right? They happen very quick and very aggressively. In fact, usually after the holidays, I'm beat. I don't feel relaxed at all just because of all the moving around and everything else that I had going on. So if you stay on track at the beginning, it's going to really help you. So get that training in. Number 2, this is something that I personally do because I know, again, being a creature of habit, if I really like something, especially the food, let's talk about food right now. when we like food, food just kind of triggers stuff in our mind that says, oh, this tastes good. I like this. I want to maybe have a little bit more of this, a little bit more of this. And, before you know it, you could really offset, right? Because if you have relatives like most of us have, and you go to a house and there's some good food there, what are they going to do? They're going to also send you home with that food, right? So now you have leftovers. And when we talk about leftovers, it might be leftover cookies and leftover other things, right? So we have to understand that I want to set myself up for success before I go to one of these dinners, right? And before I really fall off course with my eating schedule. So what I suggest is, go there not hungry. Go there not hungry. If you're waiting for Thanksgiving dinner and you're going there completely starving, and then you eat and you completely pig out, you know what? You're not helping your body at all. So here's what you do. Stay on course, have a good Thanksgiving dinner, but don't go there on an empty stomach. Already have something in there, because now when you start eating, you're going to feel full faster, right? I always think that when you go into something and you're going, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm starving, you did something wrong, because you never should be at that place. If you get to that place, that's where we overindulge, overeat, and it just really creates bad habits for us. So you really want to go through the day not starving the body of nutrients and proteins, and making sure that we can stay on course right there. So if I could suggest anything, obviously just go to your events without being hungry, right? Just eat something healthy first. It's good to eat something healthy. Then you go there, you go, hey, I can have a little bit, but you don't feel bad about it because you already put good food in your body and you're not overdoing it. So that's another thing to really help you stay on track. The last tip I want you to know, and this is really something to help you understand this, is holidays, vacations, etc., they don't last forever. But the things that we do during that time does. And our biggest enemy, who is it? It's us. Your biggest enemy is yourself. And if you go into a holiday season making sure you're still training, making sure you're still eating good, making sure you're still staying on track, and you can tell your internal voice that and say, you know what? I still did a great job. I'm very proud of myself. You know what? That's going to keep going. And you're going to build habits that are going to last the rest of your life. That's the key. So stay on track, stay focused, and make sure you guys do like this video and subscribe to this channel. And I will see you in our next video. Take care.